Hello viewers and welcome to another Doctor Who episode review, and today I'm reviewing Kerblam. It will contain some spoilers, so if you haven't seen the episode yet and you want to go and see it first, then go and watch it. So, this is episode 7 of series 11, and I think overall the story is a decent story. It's a nice idea, nice thought put into it. The villain were good and the characters were really good. The only issue I've got is probably the ending, but I'll come on to that later in the review. So, Kerblam as a story overall. I think the idea of like parcels getting delivered like through space, like space-time post people delivering stuff. I like that idea. We've never come across them before, but the Doctor seemed excited, like she obviously knew who the Kerblam was, and I thought that was really good. And yeah, I kind of can't believe that because we've already seen like space police, so this is a similar kind of thing really. And there's a full planet of like the Kerblam, and there's got like a silly catchphrase, something Kerblam it or something, which I thought were really good. So yeah, I thought the characters in this story were really good. The main TARDIS team, I thought each one of them were really excellent in this episode. And I think the side cast were also really good, like with the manager, I can't remember what her name was, but she's like the main woman in it. There were Kira, Charlie. I thought they all did a good job in this episode. Definitely really good acting from all of them. And yeah, so the characters were good. So far with the story, as we get into it, we see these villains, and or these robots, should I say. They're not the villain of the episode, as we find out, but they looked really creepy. Definitely creepy with that smile, and they were very robotic, and they always watched what you did and listened to everything that you say, to every conversation. So that's very like creepy, and I loved that about these robots. So yeah, the robots are really good. What else have we got in this story? I think they're the main three things really. I'll come on to the ending afterwards, but yeah. So let's go for the story as a whole. As I've already said this, but the actual story of like the characters, like we know a bit about Kira, we know a little bit about Charlie in this episode. We know that each job role is important. There's kind of like robots and people. So the main woman refers to as like a person error, which is probably something normal that they say there, as everything's just about robotic. And it kind of made me think that that's what it's going to be like in the future for like parcels and post offices and post things and all that sort of stuff, if you know what I mean. It's just going to be that's what the future's going to be like at this rate if we carry on. There will be, I know that it'll seem a good idea that robots will take over, but obviously people will lose work, as mentioned in this episode, so it makes them feel like they've got a purpose, to be like Kira in this episode. And also, it also means that robots, they could have an error, and that's basically what happened in this episode, and I'll tell you more about that later. what was I going to say now? Oh yeah, so the system itself needed help. So that was basically what got delivered to the Doctor, a message of the system saying that it needed help from this thing trying to interrupt it. And I liked how that connected to the robot going for Charlie instead of the others, like putting him up against the wall. I thought that were really, I think that were really clever how they did that, as he was the one who was doing these silly stuff, childish things the system didn't like. So it was like the system using the robots to get its own back, which is a good idea, to be honest. I still think Graham's my favourite companion, by the way. So I thought that were really good. I liked how it was. We kind of got suspicious about a few people. Like first it was like the manager, then it was the main woman, and it was like, oh, who's behind this? And all it was Charlie. And it's like, okay, there is someone behind this. The robot isn't the villain. The robots aren't the villains, which was a bit disappointing, because they're not going to cause any sort of threat. Only Charlie will. And I'm like, yeah, I like that, but I wanted the villains to be the threat, the villains, the robots. I wanted them to be the people who wanted to avoid and all that sort of stuff. But it was childish Charlie, that's what I'll call him, childish Charlie, who just wanted to get his own way and, cried about it. So that's all the ending were, and it was quite rushed and unexplained. I've only watched it twice, but I had to kind of think about how we got from the second to last bit to the last bit, how it all fitted together, from these two being suspicious, and then all the way to, oh yeah, Charlie's the one, and he's going to blow himself up because he wants to die. And I thought Charlie would come running back and the Doctor would tell him off or something, but no, that didn't happen. So I was quite happy about that. But I just think the full ending as a whole was a bit, could have been polished a bit more, but we kind of needed more time, to be honest. The thing about the bubble wrap I thought was a really good idea, because it's, people enjoy popping bubble wrap, and it's obviously something that's been thought about for this episode, as it causes them to kind of not explode, but turn them into robots and all that sort of stuff. But yes, that happened to Kira, and it basically happened to all the robots that we saw in the warehouse on the Foundation level. I did think, though, at the end, when they all stared at the box, that was the bubble wrap in there was gonna explode. I'm not sure about that, unless it doesn't have the power, because I know it didn't before when Ryan were popping it at the beginning of the episode. But I don't know, is that still active? I'm not sure. Probably not, but I'm not entirely sure, to be honest. So you never know, someone could die if you tread on it. So I thought that was a really good idea as well. I enjoyed the references to David Tennant and Matt Smith in this episode. I liked how Matt Smith, the 11th Doctor, ordered a fez years and years and years ago, hundreds of years ago probably, and it got delayed, and now Jodie Whittaker's got a fez. So I thought that was really good how we had a throwback to that. And also my favourite line of the series so far, about Jodie was telling one of her little stories, again, who she met, and I think in Rosie she said, oh, don't tell Elvis that I gave him a mobile phone and all that. And I thought, we've never seen this. But my favourite line in the series, I can't remember the exact line, I'll have to look that up, but she says something about how she met Agatha Christie and and a wasp, and that made me like smile to myself. Definitely my favourite line of the series, by the way. I love that reference because I like the recipe form. Because I thought that was a great episode and a great villain. And kind of that episode sort of like made me think of Unicorn and the Wasp, this episode, as we're suspected like the manager and the main woman, like, and obviously a Unicorn and the Wasp, where it was like a murder mystery, so we are interviewing like each of the suspects. So it kind of connected like that as well. I think I covered just about most things in this 10-minute, 12-minute review. That's kind of what I want the reviews to be like, 10 to 12 minutes. And I think this episode overall deserves 7.5, 7 or 8 out of 10, because I think it's one of my favourite of the series. I do like it. It's probably not my absolute favourite, but I'll have to see when I rank them all at the end of the series. But it is like a very decent story, and I'm hoping that next week's episode, the Witchfinders, will be good, because it does sound really good. Like there's some sort of villain behind it, and there's obviously King James the First, and obviously the Witchfinders. There's obviously some sort of witchy thing, and my theory about next episode is that the Doctor will get done for witchcraft and she'll get sentenced or something. I don't know, but I want the Doctor to get like told off for like witchcraft, and like King James the First thinking that she's a witch or something. So I think that would be really, really good to see. But I have no idea where the series is going. No idea at all. And I just can't wait for it. I can't wait for it. I'm hoping... Well, I don't know what I'm hoping, to be honest, about the rumour about Chris Chibnall and George Whittaker leaving after Series 12, and Series 12 and 6 episodes, and then 6 episodes a year later. That's... I don't know what I think about that. Run out of ideas, disagreeing with the BBC bosses. You know... It's not looking good, to be honest. I've seen it... When I first saw it, I thought, yeah. But I've seen it on like a few websites, a few sources now, and it's like... Is this actually going to happen? Are they going to leave already? And it's... I don't know. I don't know what to think about that. But I'm just going to get this series over and done with, the New Year's special, and see where we go from there. Apparently they've already started, like... filming it out there. I don't know if they're filming it, but they're definitely in production with Series 12, so we'll have to see what we get. And yes, that's the end of the review, and it is a bit rushed because I've got a bit of a cold and I'm like, ooh. But please comment, like and subscribe, and I'll hopefully see you in my next review. The Witchfinders.